Long before the main event at Stonewall, what happened? Well, there are many anti-homosexual policies across the United States. For example, President Eisenhower made an executive order in 1953 banning homosexuals from working in the federal government. Thousands lost their jobs. This led to LGBTQ people forming organized groups to fight for protection. Also, because being gay was illegal, many gay bars couldn't get a liquor license and were instead owned by the mafia, as Stonewall was. Unfortunately, so long as the mafia was making a profit, they didn't care about what was happening to their customers. This left customers in these bars, especially BIPOC and gender nonconforming people who could not hide their identities, more vulnerable to police brutality. There was a common practice of police raiding gay bars and harassing gay people across the U.S. Also, in New York, homosexuality was a criminal offense. There were previous uprisings against police brutality and harassment of the gay community, such as the Black Night Brawl, which was in Wisconsin, 1961, and the Pepper Hill Club raid in Maryland. According to a person at the Stonewall Uprising, they knew of at least 5 bars in the area that had been raided over the previous 3 weeks. This meant that tensions between the LGBTQ community and the police were high prior to the Stonewall Uprising. On June 28, 1969, at the Stonewall Inn, which was a gay bar in New York, police officers came to raid the bar, supposedly for not having a liquor license. Police arrived very early in the morning and began arresting customers for cross-dressing. Then, the police began pushing customers and workers into police cars. These people resisted and yelled, and eventually a crowd of about 200 people formed. The crowd began chanting and throwing bricks and bottles. The police barricaded themselves in the bar and called for backup. The uprising continued for about 6 days. This was the first well-known protest due to media coverage. It raised general awareness of police harassment and gay activism. It also led to gay rights organizations that used to work for change through legal ways now starting to use confrontation in a new way. For example, the Matching Society changed its approach, and a new organization called the Gay Liberation Front was formed. At a conference in 1969, an activist called for nationwide demonstrations each June in honor of Stonewall. The next year, in June 1970, New York had its first Pride Parade. This was originally called Christopher Street Liberation Day because Stonewall Inn was on Christopher Street. People began to have pride parades across the nation. Stonewall raised visibility of gay rights issues and paved the way for more equality. One example of this is the legislation of gay marriage, which was legal on June 26, 2015. In conclusion, the Stonewall Uprising created visibility for gay rights and gay activism and created the first Pride Parade and many more to come.